Hello folks, Nordine Zouareg here with Mindfully Get Your Shit Together. I am so excited to do this second podcast. The first one was okay, I think. And so I had to bring back my friend Noah because I got addicted to him. So I will kick your ass later after I feel comfortable. It's funny because I spoke in front of thousands, and I've spoken since I was 23 years old in international stages. But a stupid podcast is hard.
It's like talking to a piece of metal, a microphone.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. It's same with the videos. When I do videos, I don't like I don't like it because I don't see anyone there.
No problem.
So anyway, you know what? Even the best among us, screw up, right? And God, I screwed up a lot in my life, in all areas of my life. I'm not this pure sort of guru, which I never claimed to be, by the way. I'm in the human development field and teaching wellness, fitness, and life, so to speak. I think the work that I do is meaningful. It helps me every time I help someone, every time I teach someone or work with someone. It's really teaching me. It's really helping me. That's why I love it. That's why I don't like to talk to a microphone when there's nobody there, because I don't, see what I mean?
Bounce off.
Yes, it's not motivating me. But you're helping me. Thank you so much. By the way, Noah Collins with Visual Peak Productions.
No need for the shout out, but I will say we are trying to in the future have some sort of basis. I don't know if we'll necessarily do anything live, but we want to do maybe something over Twitter where we can have the listeners kind of bring in questions that they may have for you.
And also for people out there listening from other countries, I do speak 5 languages, so I can answer some questions. If you guys want to email me, the email is Nordine Zouareg at executiveinnerfitness.com. Nordine Zouareg at executiveinnerfitness.com. That is Nordine Zouareg at executiveinnerfitness.com. And you can write in the language you can even send me a video. So what are those languages? I speak English, of course. I think I do, right?
Pretty well, honestly.
I speak French, I speak Italian, I speak Berber, and I speak Arabic. Why mindfully get your shit together? That's I'm sure that you guys are going to send me questions about it. Well, your shit cannot be getting together. You can't organize your life if you're not mindful. If you're afraid of the past, or the future, and you're not being here in the now, which sounds, corny, but it's the truth. There's no other way to say it, but, you're in the now. That's all that matters. You're focused in here. You're engaged in what you're doing in here. So you detach from the outcome, because thinking about the outcome brings you to the future. Therefore, you're not here.
And you're neglecting the present.
Exactly, and you're not focusing on what you're doing and your being. So mindfully get your shit together is what I want to get across to people who are listening. When you're addressing a situation, in terms of relationship, and you yelling at each other, your partner, and you're not going to get anywhere. Okay, so you need to be proactive, not reactive. You need to be having a conversation, a mindful conversation without anger and frustration, because anger and frustration takes you out of context of mindfulness and, pushes you into the future or the past where you start being afraid. What do we do when we're afraid?
Terrible decisions.
Exactly. So, you need to be mindfully getting your shit together. So, like I said in the first, during the first podcast last week, anyone who claims to have their shit together is either a fool or is in denial. We can only seek balance in an imbalanced world and do our best to stay sane, okay? Therefore, mindful. Okay, mindfulness is sanity. Okay, fear is insanity. You're insane. So that's you feel that way. Even if you're not clinically insane, you feel that way. In this insane world, specifically the world we live in now.
So you want to start with our breathing techniques?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me, because people out there, probably waiting for that. So let's take a deep breath, and this is to prime our day to success. Again, if you're driving, please stop your car or your motorcycle, whatever you're driving, and do the exercise.
Don't try this, it may not work.
Absolutely. So why don't you just sit back and take a deep breath, close your eyes, and take a deep breath in from the nose. Hold it. Exhale. One more time. Inhale deep. Hold it. Exhale. One more time. Inhale deep. Inhale more. Hold it. Exhale. It feels good. Feels really good. I love to do this. Of course, that's not all I do when I start my morning, and that's going to be a topic for another podcast about what we need to do upon rising in the morning to kind of prime our day to not only succeed but to tackle those challenges we all have during the day. So, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned that today we are going to be talking about doubt as the enemy of faith and belief. But first, if I didn't introduce myself first, again, I think I did, but I'm going to do it again. See how that's how I'm not really, comfortable with podcasts yet. This is my second one. I'm Nordine Zouareg, and I'm the CEO and founder of Executive Inner Fitness. I'm also a former 2-time Mr. Universe. So why doubt is the enemy of faith and belief? So if I had to ask you a question, Noah, I'm not asking you to answer this specific question, but when you feel in doubt, how do you feel? What is happening both emotionally and, physiologically?
Man, I'll tell you, having me think back to times I'm in doubt already puts me in kind of a negative state, just thinking back to it. But I mean, it doesn't feel right. It's almost like going towards something you're going to be losing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's like headed towards a battle,
Yeah, you're operating from what we call ego base, okay, fear base, okay, and that is the opposite of being operating in terms of mindfulness in a place of love, okay, where you don't feel doubt. I mean, it's impossible to feel doubt when you are in a place of love, in a mindful place. You can have concerns, but there's certainly no doubt. And doubt can really, really block that energy, so to speak. Okay, it can block this energy field where abundance happen. Okay, so I can, I like to illustrate, so I'm going to illustrate with my own experience. When I was going through writing my first book, Mind Over Body, for instance, Warner Books, we signed a contract with Warner Books for a 6-figure advance. I was working at the time at
That's a lot of money to owe to a company.
I was working at Miraval Life and Balance, Miraval Resorts, top resort, and I love that place. Anyway, so I was doing, I was a wellness fitness director there. I was responsible of a team of staff and responsible for the program design, creating all sorts of things, working with guests and a lot of tasks. And here I am writing a book. Actually, I signed a contract for a book that I haven't written yet. Okay? In the contract, there was a clause that said, if for any reason we decide to cancel the contract,
you owe the money back.
You owe the money back.
Ooh.
Right? So when I read that, so what happened to me is that, okay, so you go from the here to the there. Where is the there is, oh, wow. What if? That's the there.
To a bad there
what
as
if?
well.
A bad place. A place where, people say, well, you have to think about the future. Yeah, but when you think about the future, you're thinking about it now. You don't just go to the future and freak out. When you're working on the future, you're working, on the future mindfully. You're not feeling any fear. But when you feel sensation of fear, is that because it's because you're in that future. Your head is there, your body is here, your head is there. So I went to that place. It's a dark place. Then I started using my own teachings, and I said to myself, you know what? If I want to eliminate fear, I need to create self-belief. Okay, believe in myself, in the work that I was doing. Okay, so I completely immersed myself into my work, into my this passion of teaching. Okay, this concept of mind over body, and what I did is that not only I decided to engage fully, that is mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. What does that mean? It means that I was doing it myself, not only writing about it, but I was doing it, okay? I was feeling it, and I was talking about it, and I was writing about it. So I didn't let my mind to play that trick on me. So I went to a place of mindfulness, okay? A place of love for my work, and I completed the manuscript in 8 months.
Damn.
Warner Books sent me an email and said, "You're the fastest author ever," and that also brought some doubt for 2 seconds. I was like, what does that mean? Maybe it's not good. Yeah. But then they finished by the email by saying excellent job. So thank God. But so that's the illustration I can give you. There are many times in my life where I was in doubt. But then I had to connect to self-belief, which is self-worth, which is another podcast topic. I'll be talking about self-worth and self-esteem. But once you do that, once you like I said in the first podcast, you connect to that passion, doubt just vanishes. Okay, it fuels you to move forward. Doubt pushes you back. Okay, doubt is a hindrance. Okay, it blocks the energies. You actually, you know, sort of stop believing, and that could be detrimental. It could also be self-destructive. Okay, I would go as far as saying doubt is self-destructive. Okay, self-belief is self-growth. Doubt is self-destructive. Self-belief is self-growth. You understand that? I can give you another example as it pertains to the world of executives, so to speak. I was working in New York with a gentleman who hired me to for a week to be in New York, not only to assess him and give him, you know, guidance in terms of the physical aspect of his life, but also the emotional and the mental. We work together on balancing all energies, you know, like I said, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. We worked on exercising, and we worked on relationship, we worked on all of these different aspects of his life. But the first day, it was for me, you know, I think for both of us, when we were doing the assessment, very emotional, because there was so much stuff that, you know, mind you, I'm not a, you know, psychotherapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, you know, but
did he have a lot of baggage on him?
Yes, I am a person that work with people in terms of wellness. You know, I engage with them in terms of behavior, and I guide them. You know, I spent a big part of my life studying human behavior, and the physical aspect of a person is what I've done for a long, long time. Everything that I teach, I've done myself. So with this particular individual, there was one thing he didn't want to let go of.
What was that? And
he doubted that he was capable of being happy. It's insane. So when you're doubting, absolutely, Noah, when you're doubting that you are incapable of being happy, that is detrimental, not only to your health, but the well-being of the people that are surrounding you, your family, your friends, because you are emitting, you know, projecting that, and you're emitting a negative energy all the time. You know, how hard and painful that can be. So I, you know, listened deeply to this person. I wanted to listen deep enough and long enough for me to catch something within him that I could get and show him, you know, and say, hey, this is the issue. Why don't we just solve this issue first? And after a certain point, he was smiling, and I said, stop. I said, let me tell you this, John. Or let me ask you this. How do you feel right now? I feel good. That's happiness, my friend. And he started to cry.
Wow.
You know, this is a very, very successful man.
All the reason in the world to be happy, right?
Exactly. Well, success is not only about wealth. Success is when you can get up in the morning and feel good about yourself. Success is about balance, my friend. Okay? It's not about having it all in terms of material. It's having it all in terms of inner and outer environments. Inner and outer aspects of your life, mind, body, and spirit, or emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual aspects of your life. Okay? And so I followed with this. I said, John, I am happy for you. You know why? Because happiness is you. Happiness is me. Happiness is not something you get. Happiness is not something you buy. Happiness is within you. The only thing you need to do is connect to it. Happiness is a state of being. And he stood up, I stood up, and hugged each other for 5 minutes. Because here you start, believing now. You know that, my God, I was doing all the wrong things.
Working against yourself through that doubt, right?
I was shutting down. I was looking for something that I already had. I was looking for something I already had. We are all looking for something we already have all the time.
I completely agree.
When we feel unhappy, we ceased to connect to happiness. We ceased to be. We ceased to engage in the things we love most. Okay?
Which causes us to be even more unhappy.
That is self-destruction, my friend. Okay, so when you feel unhappy, unhappiness is possible. Okay? Those are called barriers that you set in front of you. You create unhappiness. But you cannot buy or get happiness because it's simply impossible. Because it's already in you. Okay? And mindfulness, okay, is a way to be connected to that. And so to get back to the topic, doubt is the enemy of faith and belief. Okay, why? Because it's the opposite of love. It's opposite of faith. It's opposite of self-belief. So
I had actually, just to add something real quick, I had a tip that I started implementing in my work because I know we talked about this. I do a lot of creative video work, which I am passionate about, but I was seeing myself basically, whether it be me caring so much in the final result, which we've also talked about, not attaching yourself to that.
To the outcome, yeah.
But I would basically work within doubt, even though I loved what I was doing, and that would then cause me to stress on the process, which would basically ruin what I was working on. So what I started to do to put myself in a state of belief is to write down on a notepad what I wanted to hear when I delivered the product. So with the person in mind that I was doing the video for, right, I would write, I loved it, or basically what I'd want to hear. And it's crazy because that puts you in believing in what you're doing. And those were, it wouldn't be the exact statements I would write, but I would hear things just like that.
Sure,
so.
Simply because you went back and got engaged in a mindful task. Okay, so getting back into doing something that is very mindful, into a place of love, help you push away doubt. Okay, so that's it, folks, and I'm so happy that we completed the second podcast. I believe the third one, if I can get you in, it's fine. If not, I'll do it on my own. For those of you who are listening, by the way, I'd love for you to follow me on Facebook, Nordine Zouareg, or Instagram, which is also Nordine Zouareg, Nordine, and then Zouareg, zebra. On Twitter is the same thing, Nordine Zouareg.
Feel free to share this with anyone you know that you feel is doubting themselves right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I would strongly suggest is that you do at least one thing every single day to make someone, help someone who's going through difficulties in their lives. And God knows how many of us are in need of help and support. This being said, thank you so much, and thank you for listening to Mindfully Get Your Shit Together.